Gamers, I want to talk today about a major issue with Honkai Star Rail that I feel like no one else in the community is talking about, and it doesn't seem like HoYoverse is doing anything to fix this issue in the game at all. And you guys might see what's going on in the game as a W, right? Yes, yippee! And what are you talking about, YouTube? No, I'm not talking about how Wuai is doing better than Honkai Star Rail. No, I'm not talking about how the decline in viewership for Honkai Star Rail could impact the game. And no, I'm not talking about how Zenless Zone Zero's release schedule and when it's coming out is going to affect Honkai Star Rail, because honestly I don't think any of those things are a major issue coming to Honkai Star Rail because it is such a different game, it being a turn-based game. I really don't think that it's going to have a long-term effect on Honkai Star Rail, but one thing that I do think will have a long-time effect on Honkai Star Rail, drumroll please, waifus. And husbandos too, I guess. So the big issue here is that we get 2 new 5 stars every single patch, and that might seem amazing to you, but if you also notice, we get 2 reruns every patch as well, and this has not changed since 1.0, guys. Now, just for a little bit of reference here, I really do want to show you guys what Genshin looks like right now. If we can take a look back at all the way, the first, actually, we can even take a look at like what's recently going on in Genshin, right? So if we take a look at the banners in 4.6, we had Arlecchino, Lionel, Wanderer, and also Baizu as well. So what does this tell you? In Genshin, there was 1 new 5-star and 3 rerun banners. So why does this matter at all, right? Because of the fact Genshin is able to rerun all of their characters pretty efficiently, and Honkai Star Rail's not gonna be able to do that. And the reason why I say it could get to an irreparable state is because let's just take a look at earlier banners, right? In version 1.0, we had Venti and Klee. Version 1.1, we had Zhongli and Child. Version 1.2, we had Ganyu and Albedo, which all of these are fine, by the way. It's a new game. When it first comes out, you just need to release character after character after character. If we go up to version 1.4, in version 1.4, we had 2 rerun banners. You didn't get a single new character in version 1.4, and this even carries over to version 1.5. What do they do in version 1.5? They release 1 new character, 1 rerun character. Version 1.6, 1 new character, 1 rerun character, right? So they are constantly releasing 1 character, 1 rerun character, so they're kind of getting behind in a way, but with the release of like the 2 rerun characters, it didn't take that into effect that much. Now, if we take a look at other banners, right, 2.0 obviously is going to have both new characters, 2 brand new characters so you can pull on. Version 2.1 is going to have that as well, but how do they react to this, right? Version 2.2, you have 2 rerun characters. There's no new characters here, so you have 2 reruns for the cost of 0 new 5 stars, which gives you the ability to catch up on previous 5 stars in the game. So if we take a look at this little handy dandy chart right now, this will show you the path that Honkai Star Rail has been down. We have gotten a new character every single patch for both sides, and even to version 1.4, we didn't get a single rerun. At version, well, I guess the end of version 1.4, we got a rerun for Zila, but up until this point, it was all new characters back to back to back to back. There was no double rerun banner, and that has stayed true for this whole time, right? The whole time we've been playing Honkai Star Rail, or since the beginning, we've been getting 2 new characters every single patch. And what did they do when we released version 1.6 and beyond? You got 2 new reruns every single patch, so that means you had 2 new characters and 2 reruns. That's a 1-to-1 ratio, meaning, and this is why this is bad, this means we will never get a rerun, a second rerun of a character ever again. So that means if you started playing the game late, and let's say you miss Jingliu or Topaz, right, and those are one of your favorite characters, you miss Kafka, you can never get them again. With the current release schedule, you will never be able to pull Kafka again. You'll never be able to pull Dragon Danny again. You'll never be able to pull Jing Yuan again. You'll never be able to pull Silver Wolf, Fu Xuan, and so on and so forth. You will not be able to pull any of these characters ever again. Ruan Mei too. If you miss Ruan Mei this patch, and this trend stays the exact same, you will never be able to pull those characters again. Now, why is this bad for the game? Sure, you might say that Jing Yuan sucks, Zila sucks, and sure, they're going to get power crept more and more and more in the future, but the point is that people will not be able to get these characters ever again. On top of that, they won't be able to get launch for these characters ever again. So say the Jing Yuan mains, r/Jing Yuan mains, they are never going to be able to get Eidolons for our general ever again, so they can't cope on r/Jing Yuan mains and say he is the best DPS in the game. So that is the main issue here, especially for casual waifu collectors, which honestly, let's be honest, that drives the sale of this game. If we take a look at Genshin Impact, for example, and we take a look at Raiden here, Raiden has 3 reruns. So that means if this character like, let's say Acheron, right, was in this game, there would not be the 2 extra reruns that she got there, right? She would have the 1 rerun, and that is it. That's why I say this is a major problem. So if you're a big fan of Sam and Firefly, you just started playing the game, you played through the whole Pinnacle, so I want Firefly. If she's already had her rerun, you're not going to get her again. This is why this is a major issue. And if we even talk about characters that are integral part to certain team comps, like follow-up Topaz, Topaz wouldn't be getting a rerun again, so you don't have the extra follow-up support to actually run a follow-up team properly. It wouldn't matter if we got another dot character, because you'll never be able to pull Kafka again. That means you can't reproc dots. That means dots fall off tremendously. That means anyone making guides for new players really can't use these characters because they'll never be able to be pulled again, and that is the issue, right? Now, that being said, do I think Honkai Star Rail's team will let the game get to this point where there's no reruns? Absolutely not. Kafka is a seller. Firefly is a seller. Topaz, I don't know if she's really a seller, but she's cool and she's pretty and she's cute. Jingliu is an absolute seller. So at the end of the day, I think they're going to correct this issue somehow, but the problem is the longer this goes on for, the harder that gets to correct, because at a certain point, right, you will not be able to get through all of the characters unless you just, like, stop for 4 patches in a row and just do 4 reruns every single patch. Then maybe you catch up, right? Do, like, 2 or 3 patches with no characters. They're not going to do that either, right? But if HoYoverse doesn't have any other ideas how to fix this, maybe I have some for you. Maybe my community does, because I asked my community, hey guys, what do you think they could do in the game to fix this issue? So I'll be going over all of their fixes today, and on top of that, going over a fix of my own that I've been proposing for a while now that could fix it as well and keep their revenue pretty high. Also, just as a quick side tangent here, there's no new 4 stars they're adding. Like, why are we adding so many 5 stars in that we're oversaturating the market and not adding new 4 stars in? Please add new 4 stars and please don't give me that cope in the comment. Harmony Trailblazer. No, we need more pullable 4-star characters to actually have progression on the account, because at a certain point, we're going to get all these characters E6, then we're going to have no point of pulling on these banners at all for free-to-play players. So we really need to start pumping out those 4-star characters. Okay, okay, that's side tangent out the way. I'm sorry. So let me go down this list now of what I think is the least likely to happen to what I think could be the best fix for the scenario. So first of all, someone recommended having like a lot of dead patches in a row. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think they would ever do a multiple dead patches in a row. I can see them maybe doing 1 dead patch and then going to another patch where they have more characters, like the normal release schedule they have now. 1 dead patch could help them catch up, and maybe they spread out those dead patches so they can have your old characters spread out for reruns like that. I think that could work, but I don't think multiple dead patches in a row would fix this problem at all. Number 2, someone recommended them having 6 banners up at all times. That means 3 banners on part 1, 3 banners on top 2, which I guess would technically make 6 banners on part 1, 6 banners on top 2, because then you would have their weapons along with all of their things. The reason I don't think this would work either is because even though it would catch you up, especially if they do something like, let's say, run Topaz, Adventurine, and Ratio in the same banner, right? Or the same, like, patch together, right? There's no way a free-to-play player is getting all those characters that exact same patch. No matter how much you save, it's a very unlikely chance that you're actually going to be able to get that. So that's why I really don't think this is a very feasible option, just because it's going to be that is very pay-to-win hungry, right? That is very greedy to do, and I don't think they would do that. Now let's hop into some more of the reasonable ones now. So I think they could swap over to the same ratio Genshin has, where they release 3 rerun banners and 1 new 5-star banner. Yes, I think that is a solution that they could definitely implement into the game, and it could work. It's just going to take longer to catch up with now because of the fact that we have had so many non-dead patches in a row and so many 1-to-1 ratios in a row. It's going to be very hard to catch back up, so I do think there needs to be another method. On top of that, the power creep in the game is pretty prevalent right now. Copers in the comments will say, oh, Jinga 1 and Zila are still great. They're definitely nowhere near where they used to be. There is a huge skill diff between what they can do and what these new DPS can do now, and that gap's only going to widen as more time goes on. So an option that I think they could actually take pretty good use of is take some of these standard 5 stars out of the featured character summon banners and throw some of these old 5 stars into that pool, right? Let's take, for example, here the Firefly banner, right? Now, I don't think they should throw these characters on the standard banner because I think that'd be kind of cringe and copium. But what I do think they should do is take out some of the characters, like maybe Himiko, Welt, Bronya, it doesn't matter, right? 3 of the other characters and throw 3 of the old featured premium 5 stars on the banner with it. So if you lose your 50-50, you actually have a chance of getting that character. It would incentivize players to pull on the banner more, because if they lose their 50-50, maybe they won't be as sad because they're getting another featured limited character on this banner that they have never gotten before, and it's a brand new feel to the game, and I think that would be a pretty fun experience, especially if you just add 1 or 2 here. I think that would be a really clutch up thing to do. Obviously, keep the rate up. If you win the 50-50, you get the character. If you lose the 50-50, you get maybe one of the old feature characters, right? I think that is a really good option here. Now, another option I think they could add into the game, because they already have it implemented with 4 stars in the game, is actually this stardust shop. What is it called? Undying Starlight. As you can see, guys, they have, you know, 2 4 stars in the banner here right now, right? And they have all these 5-star light cones. So what's to say they don't rotate out limited 5-star characters, at least the older ones that have already gotten 1 rerun? Put them in the shop and rotate them in and out with their signature light cones. I think that could be a really good option as well. The reason I say this, because it would incentivize players to save this up more. That means whenever this shop is going to reset, they can buy them in the shop. Though I don't know how much money that would make a Hoyoverse, which is why I don't think this is as feasible of an option. I do think it is a pretty good option, though. I'm not going to lie to you. Now let's hop into the second best option here, or maybe even the best option here, of what could actually happen in the game, is do something like Genshin did. Obviously, optimize it better than this bullshit banner, but do something like Genshin has, where they allow you to select the 5-star you want. You pull on it, you get the guaranteed 5-star, the one you want, right? Now, obviously, I do not think that they should have any of the standard 5-star characters in this banner. Just put the older limited 5-star characters in there with their light cones. Allow players to select what they want. If they want to use premium currency on that, let them use premium currency on that, right? I think that is a pretty scummy route to go down, because I really don't think the banner is that good, especially when you're pulling for an off unit. But if you really wanted an old feature character, I think this would be a way to do it here. Maybe rotate this banner with other characters ever so often. But that kind of leads me into what I want now. What do I think could be the best possible solution for Honkai Star Rail's problem? Now, I think it would be something to do with the standard banner here. Now, hear me out, guys. Hear me out. I don't think that you should be able to reach 300 pity and then select an old featured unit. I think the 300 pity thing should only apply to the standard character. What I do think, though, is on this banner, every 2 weeks or so, this should rotate between older featured characters. So if you're able to use your Star Rail passes, which could actually incentivize players to spend more on this banner as well, could potentially make Hoyoverse more money, but rotate some of the older characters, the older featured characters on this banner. So instead of like having like a rerun here like this, right, and having to take up a whole slot using premium currency, this would allow players to use their free-to-play currency to potentially save up and summon for a character they really, really want. Obviously, if they lose the 50-50, they still get one of these characters, right? They're still going to get one of these characters here or one of these light cones here. I think that's completely fine still, but I think the ability to rotate featured characters out of this, so go from Zila, 2 weeks later it'll be Jingyuan, 2 weeks later Silverwolf, and then let the players know, hey, what are we rotating out to? This is going to be the next character you should be saving for, and this would allow a lot more reruns to take place, as well as be a better free-to-play experience, I believe, for free-to-play players coming to the game, because not only will they be able to get these standard 5-star characters, which arguably aren't really popping off that much anymore. I mean, I guess some of them are, right? Like, Bronya is okay. She's moved so much down the tier list. She's got power crept so much. Kimiko is, like, really good. Japard actually still holds his own pretty well, but everyone else here, they're just okay. Like, really, who uses Clara, Yangqing, Bailu, or Welt anymore? Not really anyone, but you still have the opportunity, as well as the opportunity to get them on any other banner here as well from losing your 50-50. Or better yet, even put the signature light cone here as well and allow people to select, if you win your 50-50 pity, what do you want? The weapon or the character, right? I think that should be the option here. I think that's the best solution. That's my personal favorite solution, but in the comment section down below, let me know your favorite solution to this problem. I do genuinely think that this could affect the game financially in the future and cause less players to come back. If they know they are never going to get a rerun, what's the point of playing the game? If that character is not on the table anymore, I think reruns are absolutely essential because people have bonds with these characters. Take the Firefly mains, for example. They are crazy. They are trolling, brother, and that's why she's ass. And for you guys, I'm going to do a single pull or 2 pulls for Ruan Mei's banner just for you guys really quick. We got Misa. That's huge. I'm making a Misa video pretty soon here. Let's do another one. Let's do another one. Maybe we'll get a Ruan Mei, right? Maybe we'll get a Ruan Mei. I'm coping out. I'm so coping out. Hey, we got a Misa. That's all that matters. Anyways, gamers, subscribe if you haven't already. That's going to do it for today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Later. Bye-bye.